Ooh, y'all look a mess. I look rough. If you didn't already know, your boy been thugging. Like yesterday, I had a allergic reaction to my skincare. Like my face was super swollen. My face is still kind of swollen. The swelling's gone down tremendously, but I'm still a little bit swole. But that was swole. My eyes, they were swole. They look a little bit better now, but that's why I didn't have the videos out last night. But I'm gonna do them today. I spent all day today doing my note. Well, I did my notes yesterday, but I watched everything back. But thanks to y'all. Shout out to y'all for the patience as well. But do me a favor. We out of the algorithm right now because it's not the normal time that I do it. So thumbs up the video for me real quick. Drop y'all's comments down below. Subscribe, share, and do all of that. But we're going to get into this. As we found out at the beginning of this episode, we got 4 more weeks. As I knew, but it got confirmed here that the finale is September 28th. So we got 4 more weeks of the season. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's go. All right, so we get back where we left off, which was Catherine getting evicted. Lauren sitting there crying. Everybody's consoling her. And she's like, this is the 3rd week in a row that I've lost somebody in this game that I care about. And I'm tired of being scared and sitting back in the background because being in the background is as good as nothing. Oh, you just now realized that. She says she's tired of playing scared. We'll see if that is proven to be true, but we all know how Lauren gets down. But Kelly, she's tired of getting put up, obviously, but she's not tired of proving herself, obviously. Like, she's tired of getting put up, but she wins. Like, when it's time to win, she wins, so you can't really get mad at that. But Ava, she's just happy she's still there, regardless. But Morgan, she's not upset because she's not close to Catherine. She's like, essentially, I could have worked with her, but I would never know because we never really talked game. But my focus is on the judges, and I can breathe knowing that we're all still here. But Vince, he says he feels like a failure because essentially he got Lauren's allies sent out of the house, which hurts her game, and now he feels terrible. I'm like, yeah, you always feeling terrible about some shit when you had the power to not have to feel terrible about it. But that's your own fault because you can't play the game. But he really pisses me off. Vince really gets on my nerves. But Rachel, she's telling Mickey, Will, and Ashley that Kelly has the puzzles on lock. When it comes to puzzles, she gonna beat everybody. She's proving it, and Rachel's not stupid. Rachel sees it, and they're like, yeah, she gotta go. And she has to go. Like, you gotta get her out of there. But Rachel is sick of her just like I am. And she's like, I mean, she should have left when Jimmy was on the block against her. Like I told y'all, I think last week. Jimmy was on the block. That week that Jimmy went home was the week that Kelly lost the battle of the block. What is it called? The battle bag. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When she lost it, the first and only time that she's lost it, she was available to go home, and they didn't send her home. Now they can't get her out, and they're like, "Why can't we get her? We can't get her out. We can't get her out." Rachel's like, "Y'all should have took the shot when you had the opportunity to," and that's what she told them. Like, I literally told y'all to get her out, but y'all decided to vote out Jimmy. But Lauren and Vince, they're having a conversation. They're talking about how everybody essentially has a pair now, except for Lauren, which makes her pretty much vulnerable, which people could either take a shot at her or grab her as a number. Obviously, if you're smart, you would grab her as a number because why would you send somebody out who has nobody? But Vince is like, I mean, that you kind of stick out at that point, but he hopes that she's good. And he says it'll be interesting to see if people actually pull her in as a number. And Lauren's like, I mean, now I'm playing for me and me only. You should have been playing for you and you only since you walked in the house, but like, whatever. But Vince promises her that he will play a different game going forward if he gets past this week. Bullshit. Lauren shouldn't believe it because you had every opportunity to prove that you're going to play a different game, but you already fucked up your own game consistently. You've had many chances to actually prove that you wanted to play a game that would work for her in that side of the house, and you've literally done everything but that. But Keanu and Vince, they're having a conversation, and Vince is back to playing the victim. Oh, I'm sorry I did this, and I messed up. I'm such a bitch. You are a bitch. But, like, let's keep it real. Keanu's not buying it because you do it every week. And Keanu states, too, like, Catherine, she would not have put you up. Like, you literally got her out, but it is what it is at this point. I'm not worried. But Vincent states that he feels like he's setting his team back. No shit. And Keanu's basically like, yeah, obviously. But Keanu tells us, like, his kindness is being taken for granted. It's being taken as a weakness, and I'm tired of my allies going home because of Vince. So we'll keep it moving. But Keanu and Kelly, they're having a conversation, and he pretty much states like she's his most trusted ally in this game. Like, he refuses to vote against her because they've always been on the same page. She pretty much tells him these bitches are scared of me, they're terrified of me. And she tells us like the same thing. Keanu has literally proven to me that he's the only person in this house that I can truly trust because he's been loyal to me. And now, like, I'm unwavering. Like, I'm fully loyal to Keanu. They would be smart to stay loyal to each other because both of them are winning competitions and they both need each other to stay in the game, honestly. But we didn't see a scene of Keanu and Rachel. So they both want to win HOH, obviously. And he was like, I mean, if I win HOH, I have zero intentions of putting you up. And he tells us that he wants to fix things with Rachel, and he hopes that it's kind of like water over the bridge now, because they are the two strongest threats and the strongest targets in this house, and they need each other. Basically, I need you in this game because you a shield for me. Just as Rachel's a shield for Keanu, Keanu is a shield for Rachel. So they both know they need to work together. But he then asked, like, if we can make decisions going forward. I want to run things by you going forward. And she was like, I mean, you tried to get me renominated. Like, you tried to get me renominated and evicted. We had a final two. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you doing that? And he admits to backstabbing her because he felt like she was using him as a shield, which, duh. And you're doing the same thing for her. But she was like, I mean, how can I use you as a shield when I'm the bigger target? That is true, but you know that he's a big target too, which is why you're using him as a shield. But he was like, with Jury, you will be the biggest target, but if you're gone, I'm next. Basically, you're my shield too. But she was like, working with him is good for her game, but it doesn't mean she has to trust him, essentially. And she don't trust him, but he has to earn her trust back. But Rachel tells us that she doesn't think that she can play with him. Like, I don't think I can play with him, but I feel like I'm at the bottom of my alliance because you got Will, who has Ashley, they're close. Vince and Morgan, they're close. So I'm literally the only one in that alliance that really doesn't have a duo. Even though I can really consider Ashley a duo with Rachel. Ashley, I feel like Ashley is close to Will and Rachel. You're really close to them to the point where she's set up good. Like, if she has a final two, if she's in a final three with both of them, she's going to get taken to the final two. So Ashley set her shit up good. But Rachel's pretty much telling us that, and she was like, I mean, I have no choice but to work with Keanu at this point. But Ava, she's walking past the memory wall, and she notices mysterious moments on the memory wall. You can't see any pictures anymore. Obviously, she puts two and two together. This is the HOH. So everybody comes in. They're gathering around the memory wall, looking at all the images and stuff. They all figure out this is basically what the HOH is going to be. It's a memory competition, so that's what it is. So when they go outside to the HOH, it's true false style. Y'all know these competitions. If you've watched the show, you know exactly what the competition is. You answer true or false to whatever question is referenced in reference to the pictures. So we're going to run through it. First round, Will got eliminated. He was cracking up laughing in the DR. I was cracking up watching him cracking up. The second round, Rachel and Mickey got eliminated together. Kelly obviously is happy because she wants Rachel out. Rachel is embarrassed to be out in the second round. I would be too. Mickey does not want Keanu or Kelly to win because she knows if they do, she will go up. Third round, Lauren, she's eliminated. The fourth round, Morgan, Ava, and Ashley all get eliminated, and everybody's worst nightmare came true. It's Keanu versus Kelly for the win. Will's cracking up because the judges basically suck. He's like, we suck. Like, we can't win shit. And he's like, now the two people that we don't want to win are literally in the finals to win. But Mickey was like, I might as well start packing my shit now because I know regardless who wins, I'm going up. But the final round, Keanu wins. And Rachel's like, I mean, now I got to be his best friend. Like, he's HOH. I got to make sure that I'm not going up. Even though I don't really trust him right now. But, I mean, I got to do what I got to do at this point. So after the HOH, obviously they're all cheering him on. Some are fake cheering him on. But Vince, I feel like the only ones that are genuinely cheering him on are Kelly and Lauren. Like, genuinely. The other ones don't trust him. But Vince says he feels good. He said he feels that it is good, but he's still doubting considering the fact that he hasn't really done anything to what Keanu has pretty much wanted. Like, Keanu's been coming to you trying to give you ideas to make bigger moves to help both of y'all's game. But you ain't been listening, so essentially he has a reason to feel doubtful now at this point. But Kelly and Keanu, they're upstairs in the gym, they're celebrating, and he tells her, like, I need you here for my sanity. Really? Her for sanity? But okay. But she then tells him that Vince would not put him up, basically trying to vouch for Vince. And basically, in her own way, she wants to push the narrative to get Rachel put up. But Keanu was like, I'm still putting him up. Like, I want Morgan to go. Kelly looked deflated because she didn't hear Rachel's name. She wanted to hear, I want Rachel to go. You know. So Keanu pretty much states that Morgan is the reason that Catherine went up and Rachel stayed safe. Which is the truth. He's not lying. He's on to the fact that Vince is getting controlled by Morgan. And the only way to get control of Vince, at least he thinks, is to get rid of Morgan. It's true. He's correct. But Keanu and Rachel, they move into the bathroom to have a conversation. So he pretty much tells her, like, I would like to consult with you going forward on what I want to do. Basically kind of giving her an inkling that he's trying to trust her now. And of course she's smirking because at this point she's like, okay, well, tell me what you want to hear. So he then says that he really wants to nominate Ashley, but I know when jury starts, she's a number for you. And for you to not go home, and I won't do that for that reason because I need you in this game, basically. Don't come for Ashley. You already know I don't want that. But if you follow the feeds, you already know what happened today. So we'll get to that on Wednesday. But he then states that he wants her to know that he despises Ashley. And I'm like, but you like Kelly? And Rachel's like, why? And he was like, she annoys the crap out of me. And I'm like, Kelly don't annoy the crap out of you, but okay. But Rachel was like, well, you tried to get me out last week. And he was like, but I can this time, but I'm choosing not to. So you need to remember that. And Rachel's like, I mean, I'm not going to forget it, but I mean, essentially, I'll have to be his best friend until the nomination ceremony. I said, you mean until after the veto ceremony? But Mickey and Vince, they come walking in, busting that shit up. So then we see a scene of Mickey in the storage room with Will, basically telling Will, Rachel and Keanu was in there talking, and they stopped talking when we came in there. And it's like, we love Rachel, but it's clear she would do anything to stay in this game. Duh. And so will you, Mickey. But Mickey was like, I mean, it's weird how Keanu basically was trying to get her out last week, and now she's the first person to talking to him after he won the HOH. Mickey is delusional, but she's smart at the same time. Mickey is delusional when it comes to certain points in these games, but she do be picking up on certain shit, which I love Mickey. I'm not gonna hide it anymore. Mickey's won me back. Like, she literally has won me back. But Mickey ends up asking Will, like, do you feel like Keanu will put Rachel up? Will was like, I mean, I think, but they could become besties at this point. And he was like, he can see Keanu putting Ashley up, Rachel, or the two of them up. You're not wrong. Take Rachel out, but those three, yeah. But Mickey was like, I mean, I hope not. I just got off the block, and she starts following around the room. And she's sitting there talking about something like, I did put him up on my HOH, so it is a possibility he could return that favor, which he'd be stupid not to. Especially considering the fact that Mickey is definitely one of the bigger game players in the game still. But Rachel, she's telling Ashley that Keanu told her that he will keep both of them safe. Ashley don't believe it. She's like, I don't believe it. And Rachel's like, please don't tell nobody anything. And Ashley's like, I'm not gonna tell nobody. Who would I tell at this point? And she was like, I still don't believe him. And then she ends up asking Rachel, do you feel like he's telling the truth? And Rachel's like, no. So they start laughing. But Morgan and Vince, I'm gonna start calling him Vorgan. But Vince ends up telling her that he feels like he's hanging on by a thread when it comes to Keanu. Whose fault is that, Vince? Like, you've been making all these promises to Keanu and not following through with them. Like, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Like, why would you tell somebody that you're going to do something and then constantly not do it? Like, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to lose trust in you. But Morgan's like, there's still a chance that all five of us judges will still be there. If he puts up Mickey, she can't come down, essentially. But Vince is like, I mean, I feel like he'll put up Mickey, Ashley, and the two of us. Basically, were those options. And Morgan was like, do you think he would put up Rachel? Vince says no, because Keanu wanted me to take the shot and not him. Basically, he wanted me to take the shot and keep him out of it. So obviously, he's not going to put her up because he wanted me to do it for him. But Morgan was like, I mean, Mickey, Ashley, and Ava, those would be the good options because he knows whoever is next to Ava will go home. And basically, Mickey and Ashley will be those options. But they have another awkwardly long hug. If you've been watching the feeds, you know that is normal. But Vince, he's asking Keanu now, what are you thinking? I want to know what you're thinking. Keanu was like, I mean, I know what I'm going to do. And Vince is like, are we still good? Keanu's like, yeah. But I want Morgan to go home. Basically, you're the only person in here who I know would use the veto on her. We all know why Keanu wants Morgan to go home. But Vince claims that he'll never do anything to blindside or upset Keanu. You've already done it. You've already done it. And he was like, please don't put me up. Please don't put me up. Starts playing the victim again. And Keanu's like, I mean, I love you and I trust you to a certain extent, but I don't believe that you wouldn't use the veto on her. You're not lying, because he definitely would. And he's like, you burned me 3 times. If you burn me a 4th time on my HOH, fuck no, it's not happening. So Vince is sitting there begging like a little bitch. And Keanu was like, I mean, I don't need you begging. I need you to win. Vince was like, I don't know if I can. And Keanu said exactly what I was thinking. So if you don't know if you can win a veto, if you don't have the confidence to do that, why would I want to work with you? I was like, exactly. Keanu read my mind. And Vince is sitting there claiming that he considers everything that Keanu says. And I'd have been like, okay, you consider it, but you don't do anything about it. Like, you don't actually try and do what I tell you to do. Basically, like, we're working together. And Keanu was like, yeah, and you blow it out your ass. Like, everything I tell you, you don't, it just goes in one ear and out the other. But Keanu then states that he knows Vince by now. He messed up, and he sits here and cries about it, and then forgives him. He said, I forgive you. He said Vince, I don't know what I just said, but Vince, he basically states that Vince does certain things, says that he's going to do something, then he fucks up, then comes back and cries about it, and then I forgive him, and then it happens over and over and over again. So basically, at this time, if I forgive him again, he's going to keep doing it again, and I'm going to look like a fool again. And of course, Vince starts crying again, acting like a child, throwing a temper tantrum, calling himself a bitch. You are a bitch. like let's call a spade a spade. But Rachel, she ends up asking Keanu what is his goal for the rest of the season. So he says, assuming that we can move forward going forward in this game, like I want to work with you. And Rachel's talking about how loyal she is and how she never really backstabs any of her alliance members, which is true. Like her 3 seasons of playing this game, when Rachel got you, she got you until you cross her. But Keanu says that Keanu says he doesn't. No, he said he believes him. I don't know why I wrote doesn't, but he said that he does believe all of those traits that she has. But Keanu then states like, you haven't been disloyal to me at all, so I do believe those things. And he tells us that he regrets trying to get her out. Which I'm like, should you really regret it? Because Rachel is a threat. Like even though I'm rooting for Rachel, if I was in their shoes, Rachel would definitely be my target. She would be up out of there. But him regretting it, I can see why he would actually want to work with her. Because his perspective with wanting to work with her is smart. You need to keep a shield. You need to keep a threat in the game that is bigger than you for a good period of time. Towards a certain period, you need to get them out before you can't get them out, or they try and get you out. But Keanu was like, I was upset. Rachel says about Riley, and he's like, yeah. And she was like, I tried to consider all my options, but I'm sorry it ruined your game, but like it just made sense for me at that moment in time. And Keanu was like, yeah, hindsight, it probably was the best thing that could have happened. And he was like, I would like us to continue to work together. And he says, well, Rachel then says, like, what does that look like with us working together? And he was like, I promise not to put you up, and I promise not to try and get you out. And she was like, I guess I forgive you at this point. But Rachel tells us that she's just as confused as we are about their alliance. But she has no choice but to work with him at this point because he is the HOH. And they agree to work together for now. But Vince and Morgan, he then tells her they're going up, but not to say anything. And Morgan was like, it just doesn't make sense for his game, talking about Keanu's. How does it not make sense to put both of y'all up? It would make sense because putting both of y'all up, if one of y'all lose, or if both of y'all lose, he can guarantee the fact that one of y'all won't use it on each other. So at that point, one of y'all can go home. He really wants Morgan to go home so that he can control Vince. That is the smartest thing for his game, is to get Morgan out so he can control Vince. Keeping Morgan in the game with Vince is always going to have, or Morgan's always going to have Vince's ear. But they think that Mickey would be the third nomination. Morgan ends up asking Vince if he explained why it makes no sense for his game. Vince claims that he did, but he just doesn't believe it. Vince didn't really complain. He didn't really explain anything as to why it wouldn't be good for his game. He sat there and bitched out and tried to beg his way to not getting put up on the block. But he's sitting there crying yet again. Fuck him. Talking about, I don't want to look like a weasel. You do. And they have another awkward long hug. But Morgan, she's now in the kitchen talking to Keanu, pretty much trying to pick his brain and asking, like, how do you feel about me? And he was like, I wanted to work with you, but you told Rachel that I wanted her on the block. They showed a flashback of him literally talking to her and Vince. And Morgan was like, people already knew that. And Keanu was like, who? Because the only people that knew that were you and Vince. As we saw that flashback, he was just talking to them about it. So obviously one of the two of y'all went and told other people. But she was like, we never shared that. Well, at least I didn't. So he was like, okay, so you just gave me the option and the reason to put Vince up. Basically, like, you just told me that Vince did it. I was like, exactly. So Morgan was like, I never thought that Keanu would even consider to put us up. Why? Why would you not consider that? Y'all are a pair? Like, why? But Morgan claims that she's been honest with Keanu. He's sitting there looking at her like, you crazy. Like, you ain't been honest with me. But he tells us that she will be going on the block. We get a scene of Ava and Keanu. He pretty much tells her that he got 2 people locked in. The third person is up in the air. He pretty much tells her like he tells us that he wants his HOH to be as transparent as possible. And he basically tells her that she's one of those options essentially. And she was like, we haven't had the best history, so I'm nervous, but I just don't want to go on the block again. But Mickey and Keanu, they're up in the HOH, and she tells him that she trusts him, but she just wants to chat. So then he tells her, like, you're a question mark at this point as a nomination. He tells us that she is a big player. He can't trust her. She's already been up on the block a couple times, so might as well do it again. But he tells her that if she is up, he's not intending for her to actually go home. You're not my target. We just don't really have a close game relationship. And she tells us it's scary, obviously, being on the block. I don't see myself not going up at this point. Obviously, he sees me as a threat, but if I'm not 1 or 2 on his targets list, he still could come for me. Say one of his targets gets off the block, who's to say it won't be me? But Vince and Keanu, they have one last conversation before the nominations. He's sitting up there apologizing again. And Vince says that Mickey, Morgan, and Ava have guaranteed votes to stay. So basically, if you put those 3 up and they're still sitting there, the other people that would vote for them are forced to choose between them, which is a good pitch. It is a good pitch. But he's like, if I'm up, it's easy for them to send me home. Yeah, you're right. But Keanu then says, like, if I shoot and miss, and you go home, at least I can guarantee that somebody from my allies, like, my allies won't leave again. Basically told him, I don't give a fuck if you go home because you've been sending all my allies out. So at this point, you are better to send home than my ops at this point, because at least I know I'm gonna be straight. So he basically told him, I don't give a fuck. But Vince was like, I am an ally. Keanu says, are you? He was like, yeah, I am. And Keanu was like, how? Like, you're responsible for 3 of my allies going home. Why would I trust you in this game? Why would I trust you with my game? I'm giving you 2 chances to take yourself off the block. You going up. That's basically what he said. And Vince was like, that hurts. And Keanu was like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Keanu cracked me up. Like, that's how I would be on an HOH. Like, get out my face. I'm not bullshitting you. But the nominations are, as we expected, Morgan, Vince, and Mickey. Morgan is his target. He wants to get control over Vince and see if he can work with him at that point. Basically, I can't work with you with Morgan in this game. If you happen to still be here and she's gone, then we can see what's up. But that was it, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below. Thumbs up the video if you haven't already. Drop them comments down below. Subscribe if you are new. And I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Peace.